Donald Trump is hinting again at what the US Constitution forbids. I would be allowed to do that, but I wouldn't. The words may sound like restraint, but behind them lies a question shaking Washington. Could Trump actually find a way back for a third term? With Trump 2028 hats on sale and whispers of legal loopholes growing louder, America faces a question it hasn't asked since FDR. United States President Donald Trump refused to rule out a bid for a third presidential term, despite the US Constitution limiting presidents to 2 terms of 4 years each. He is currently serving his second term. While Trump admitted on October 27th, on board Air Force One during his flight from Japan to South Korea, that he's not allowed to run for a third term.
One theory on how you might try to serve a third term is that you could run as the vice president.
No, you'd be allowed to do that, but I wouldn't. I wouldn't do it. I think it's too cute. Yeah, I would rule that out because it's too cute. I think the people wouldn't like that. It's too cute. It's not. It wouldn't be right.
The president has repeatedly entertained the idea of running for a third term, which has included selling Trump 2028 hats. But House Speaker Mike Johnson poured cold water on the idea, telling reporters the next day that he doesn't see the path for it. Speaking at the US Capitol on October 28th, a Republican told reporters,
Well, there is the 22nd Amendment. I spoke with the president about an hour ago. It's late in the evening in Japan. He's working around the clock, serving the American people. He doesn't stop. Talk about someone who works around the clock.
Johnson, who has built his career by drawing closer to Trump, said he discussed the issue with the president and thought he understood and dismissed worries about a potential third term as hair on fire by the president's critics.
But I think the president knows, and he and I have talked about the constrictions of the Constitution, as much as so many of the American people lament that. The Trump 2028 cap is one of the most popular that's ever been produced, and he has a good time with that, trolling the Democrats whose hair is on fire about the very prospect. But I do believe that we've got 3 extraordinary years ahead of us, and the 2 years of the Trump administration are going to be an incredible thing. And I don't see a way to amend the Constitution because it takes about 10 years to do that, as you all know, to allow all the states to ratify what 2/3 of the House and 3/4 of the states would approve. So I don't see the path for that, but I can tell you that we are not going to take our foot off the gas pedal. We're going to deliver for the American people, and we've got a great run ahead of us. He'll have 4 strong years.
While Trump said he's not allowed a third term, he did keep the subject open to discussion, telling reporters, "We'll see what happens." The 22nd Amendment of the Constitution bars presidents from being elected to office more than twice. Trump stopped short of characterizing his conversation with Johnson, and his description of the prohibition on third terms was somewhat less definitive. On October 29th, President Trump said,
"Based on what I read, I guess I'm not allowed to run, so we'll see what happens."
Senator Tommy Tuberville, an Alabama Republican, told CNN on October 28th,
"If you read the Constitution, it says it's not possible. But if he says he has some different circumstances that might be able to go around the Constitution. But that's up to him. We got a long way to go before that happens."
In a recent interview with The Economist, Trump ally Steve Bannon said,
"The president would get a third term and be the president in 28. At the appropriate time, we'll lay out what the plan is."
The US Constitution clearly bars any candidate from holding the office of president for a third time. Amendment 22 of the Constitution states,
"No person shall be elected to the office of the president more than twice."
Constitutional experts say there is no way around it. The 22nd Amendment was passed by Congress in 1947 and later ratified in 1951. It was a direct response to the presidency of Franklin D. Roosevelt, a Democrat who was president during World War II. Roosevelt took office 4 times, 1932, 1936, 1940, and 1944. He died months into his 4th term in 1945. Wayne Unger, a law professor at Quinnipiac University, told the Reuters news agency that
While the amendment has never been tested in court, any challenge by Trump would likely be unsuccessful. I would predict the Supreme Court to say, nope, it's clear. 2 terms of 4 years each. Donald Trump, you cannot run for a third.
Constitutional experts say there is no way to skirt the laws and assume office for a third time. MAGA supporters and leaders from Trump's camp have suggested he run as vice president and then have the candidate for president resign after taking the office, which would install him in the White House again. This is somewhat like the Netflix hit House of Cards, in which the lead character, Frank Underwood, played by Kevin Spacey, becomes president through manipulation and political scheming. But Trump has already dismissed that MAGA musing. In theory, Trump is barred from running for vice president as well because he is not eligible to be president. The 12th Amendment to the Constitution notes that no person constitutionally ineligible to the office of president shall be eligible for that of vice president of the US. Polling aggregators suggest that the US president's approval ratings have been declining since he took office in January, falling from as high as 52%. A Quinnipiac poll released last week found only 40% of voters approve of Trump as president, compared with 54% who disapprove. Reuters' Ipsos poll showed Trump's net unfavorability with a 56% disapproval rating. Trump's average approval numbers have been rated to be the lowest among US presidents, according to Gallup polling, the longest-running presidential pollster since the 1940s. According to a survey released by Langer Research Associates in April, 62% of Americans believe Trump is serious when he talks about running again in violation of the Constitution. Some Republican lawmakers have also backed Trump's bid for another turn at the office. However, 80% of Americans oppose this idea, according to the survey. In a new The Economist YouGov poll, Trump's approval rating sat at 39%, with 58% of Americans disapproving of the job he's doing. YouGov public relations lead Alan Houston told Newsweek,
This is the lowest net approval Trump has received in any Economist YouGov poll in Trump's second term, and lower than all but one poll in his first term.
The number of conflicts the president has taken credit for ending has fluctuated, and it is an exaggeration of his peacemaking efforts. Trump already has a $50 baseball cap on sale, emblazoned with the slogan, Trump 2028. The president pointed out a hat with the words, 4 more years, on display in the White House gift shop alongside other Trump 2028 hats, to European leaders Volodymyr Zelensky and Emmanuel Macron as they toured the presidential residence in Washington, D.C. in August. So how serious might Trump actually be about running in 2028, and can he find a way to do it?